What's up, y'all? This is Roklan. Welcome back to Roklan Reacts. My name is Roklan. We are looking at some videos today so we can add some more videos for the rest of the week. I have, when I did a George Carlin review, a lot of people gave me a lot of suggestions from George Carlin, and I know that George Carlin is pretty much a legend in the comedy game. I know a lot of my favorite comedians, they say that George Carlin is the guy that really inspired them to become comedians. So today we are going to take a suggestion. This is from at 428 Chase. He gave me quite a few suggestions, so I'm just going to work my way down the list. The first one we're going to look at is going to be called George Carlin Talks About Drugs. And let me switch my screen. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Join the Patreon if you feel like it. And I also have that Fetch app that I've been telling you about. You could just use my code down in the description, and you'll be able to join Fetch, get a free 20,000 points or something like that. And I can go to gift cards and free things like that. Okay, here we go. George Carlin on drugs.
That was that. That's how that works.
People who deal in content that's on the edge, as you do, oftentimes live a life that's similarly on an edge.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those people go off the rails.
Yeah.
And we lose them and their talent. And you've been able to not do that and been able to pull it back in and...
Another luck stroke. You know, you got to have luck in this world. Part of it's your genetic makeup, that's luck. And then what you do with it is also partly genetic, because hard work is genetic. The desire to do hard work, the willingness to work hard and be determined and not be turned aside, that's all genetic too. It can be altered and a little reinforced. But some of the people who had so much edgy promise, they died young. I mean, Lenny Bruce, Sam Kinison, Andy Kaufman in his way,
Sure.
Freddie Prinze, John Belushi, Bill Hicks.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, of course Bill had a natural disorder of his own, I think so did Andy, but it's not always behavior, but sometimes it's just genetic. But it's just that I think there's a degree of luck and intellect involved in giving up things that hurt you. The drug and alcohol thing, it seems to me, comes down to this. Drugs and these things are wonderful. They're wonderful when you try them first. They're not around for all these millennia for no reason. First time, mostly pleasure, very little pain, maybe a hangover. And as you increase and keep using whatever it is, the pleasure part decreases and the pain part, the price you pay, increases until the balance is completely the other way and it's almost all pain and there's hardly any pleasure. At that point, you would hope, then the intellect says, oh, this doesn't work anymore. I'm going to die, and I'll do something. But you need people around you who can help you, and you need something to live for. You have to have something to look forward to bring you out of it. You know, there are a lot of people who don't have a lot to live for, and they're sort of stuck inside.
Was there ever any fear that by giving up the drugs, you lose a bit of the genius by giving up the wild lifestyle, sanity being the enemy?
Well, that has been a canard for a long time, that most of this creativity comes from being wacky. And I'm sure there's a lot of truth in that, as far as just being plain old wacky. Where the drugs are concerned and alcohol, they do seem to open a window for you. They do seem to broaden the vistas. At first, the thing you have to do is learn when, you know, it's like all these great writers who became drinkers. You have to sort of, I find with pot, I'm not a big drug user anymore, but I have always a joint somewhere near me. Might be hidden. And what I do, and I hardly touch it maybe once a month, that would be frequent for me. But when I'm writing something, and I write perfectly straight, perfectly sober, and I write a whole lot of stuff, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages, and I really pour it out, the next day, one hit is all I need now. One hit, and it's punch-up time. Time to get this thing going. And you do find, with that sort of judicious use, I find there's some value in it. But most of the things we use don't let you leave them alone. They don't. Pot does, thank goodness for that.
Well, that's excellent. What? Sorry?
It's still an endorsement for drugs. While he was saying, let me pause it.
And I dreamed
wait, more.
a path
Wait, let me just pause it one quick. This looks like a lot more interview than comedy sketches or skits. But my thought after that one, I was, because I don't know if you guys know, I write Passport Kings videos for when I travel, and it's like he almost gave an endorsement to like write my script out first, because I always do a fully script. I don't ever like try to shoot off the cuff the way I do on this channel, but I do it always scripted out. But what he's pretty much suggested was I should write it first, then go to sleep, then wake up the next day, get drugged up. My drug of choice is alcohol, but I guess I get drunk and then look over the whole thing and see if I could add all of the jokes and things in there that I really enjoy having inside of my videos. But anyway, that was just the thought that I had right there. So let me move on to this next part here.
That was traditional. Comedian, disc jockey, comedian, actor, big success. A mainstream dream. Meanwhile, what I really was an outlaw and a rebel, because I had lived that kind of life. I got kicked out of 3 different schools. I got kicked out of the Air Force. I got kicked out of the choir. I got kicked out of the altar boys. I got kicked out of summer camp. I got kicked out of the Boy Scouts. And I quit school at 9th grade. I had great marks. I was a smart kid, but I didn't care. They weren't teaching what I want. I didn't give a shit. It's important in life if you don't give a shit. It can help you a lot. And I was I was a pot smoker when I was 13. We broke the law. We broke into cars. We broke into offices. We broke into Columbia University. We broke into stores. We did all sorts of unlawful things. And I was that kind of person. I was one who swam against the tide of what is expected and what the establishment wants from us. But I didn't know that about myself, because this dream blinded me. This dream was about America, about the path that we all follow, the middle of the road, middle class America, mainstream will dream. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there like this, fuck those people.
That's
Fuck
how
that
I
shit.
feel.
Look at this stupid shit. No, I don't want to be in the bunny number. Can I get out of the bunny number, please? I don't want to put on that fucking uniform. And
Me, it's not the uniform, but it's like when a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you just got to work all week and then you can go to the club on a weekend." I'll be like, "Fuck that shit, man! It's so. If that's how you're supposed to live your entire life doing that every week, come on, man. Got to be something better going on, or it's not worth it." But all right, anyway, let's go back.
And I didn't know this dissonance was inside me. And in the period this is happening, all through the 60s, the counterculture was forming. The free speech movement started in Berkeley. The hippies were growing into a force. Peace, love, flower power, pot smoking, anti-authority. See, bing, ding, 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 anti-authority. Throw over the establishment. Burn down the math building? Wow. Ding, 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 ding. So I gravitated toward that because I was that person, really. And the people I hung around with were that way. The musicians I knew in the late 50s had gone through that transition. Suddenly they looked different, and their music changed. And I'm listening to people like the Buffalo Springfield. I'm listening to Bob Dylan. I'm listening to these people, and I realize these artists are using their talent to project their feelings and ideas, not just please people. And I began to take some acid and some mescaline. I didn't overdo it. I had a couple of trips that weren't the best, but I had a lot of great trips. And that is a values-changing drug. Hallucinogens are a value changer. So is marijuana. Like it or not, it changes your values. It opens up windows, doors of perception, Aldous Huxley called them. And you see things differently. And I suddenly was able to see my place and to realize I was in the wrong place. You see, in 1967, the summer of love, the peak of the hippie movement, I was 30. I was entertaining people in nightclubs who were 40. And they were at war with their kids who were 20. There was a generation war. I was in the middle of it. I was 30, 20, 40. And I said, what the fuck am I doing over here? These are the people that will at least understand me and give me a chance. I was just expanding. I was just expanding naturally. It wasn't forced. I had denied that part of myself, and finally it came into full flower. And I never became a really big success until that.
All right, y'all. Cancel.
And I quit.
Stop it. All right, y'all. That was my reaction, because I know y'all came to see me laugh at something that is very funny to you guys, but I didn't get really a chance to do that right now because maybe I picked the wrong video. Maybe 428 Chase had something else in mind for me to watch. But I mean, that was pretty informative. It definitely gave me some things to think about. Mainly thinking about when I should try some acid so I can get my value straight. Nah, let me just kidding. All right, y'all. Well, that was this one. I'm going to look at another George Carlin. I'm going to look at the one about birth control, but I'll put that on the next video. So, all right. Thanks for checking me out. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.